the judiciary versus the administration's head, U.S. President Donald Trump. A judge temporarily halted Trump's $400 million White House ballroom project. District Judge Richard Leon says the construction has to stop until Congress provides statutory authorization. This kind of news coming out in international media is important to understand how much control the U.S. president has. And not only so, market manipulation would be one of the important topics to bring alongside this, as Brent crude falls below $105 per barrel as the market prepares earlier war-driven gains. I want to know how you feel about this. Once we see the Brent crude going up all the way to $115 and then coming back down to 100 and below $105. So this manipulation that is happening, the movement in the market, how do you see this? I'm pretty sure some Americans are going to petrol stations, seeing the price rise and then falling down. It is cause of a concern in society. How do you see this, Norman?
Thank you for the question. Yes, the price of gasoline has gone up since last month. $1 is up to almost $4 right now, the average across the United States. The anticipation is that price is going to go up more, maybe five, maybe $8 before we see any relief. That in itself causes other problems because now it affects transportation, it affects food, it affects everything else. So we're going to see that cost spread out through everything things we need to live. We are now experiencing a period of time where there's a expectation that everything in the U.S. will increase. That reflects over to the pocketbooks of the American citizens. So it's predicted that we will see additional costs in food, medical supplies, transportation, anything to do with the movement of products. That is going to be reflected. These costs going to be added on to the everyday costs of living and purchasing in the United States. So that will eat into the pocketbooks of the American citizens. As you know, right now we're in a period of decline in terms of jobs, and people who work for the federal government is also concerned because they do not have right now enough money, depending on because of the partial shutdown on living every day. So the cost is going up for everyone, even the people who have jobs, we call stable jobs. Their cost is going to increase, and that is reflected as a hardship across the United States. It's unexpected. Most people think it's unnecessary because our country chose to engage in this conflict. The citizens are going to have to pay for this. Medical services, medical equipment, everything is going to increase as we move out through the year. We do not anticipate this thing is going to be just a several months, several weeks thing. We're looking at a long period of time. This is very, very harmful to the Americans as we get into the election in the fall, the midterm election. The issue is, how do you feel? Well, most people do not feel very well, and that's going to reflect on the polls when it comes in. I can guarantee you it will be reflected on how you feel the government is taking care of you, how you feel things are going, how you feel about the administration, how you feel about yourself. So right now, the United States is prepared for a period of more downsizing, less money, less impact, and most importantly, a growing distrust for the current administration.
It is April the 1st. We start with a new month. I want to get a closing statement from you. How you see Marco Rubio as well commenting on the fact that NATO was not seen, or allies in Europe was not seen supportive of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The ending from Norman Floyd Burns, how are you seeing this upcoming several weeks?
Yes, so we're forecasting. We're looking at the issues that fossil fuel uh, would translate into oil is the energy that runs the world. We talk about alternative measures, but everything emanates from the use of energy comes from fossil fuels. So we are not going to get away from that anytime soon. And Mr. Secretary Rubio's comments is looked at as it is. We listen to see exactly what he said, but I do not hold any type of strong opinion on that because he will say what the president want him to say, and that is what we dealing with. They have a plan, and hopefully we can get this plan implemented in the next 2 to 3 weeks, so we can get back on to the
Right.
scale of global dealing with global issues instead of regional and personal issues against each other.